All right, everybody, it's time for another episode of DWMOD. We got a great show lined up for you, special guests and all. But first, I just want to say thank you to those who reached out personally or came through this weekend and showed up. It was like WrestleMania 3. I mean, it definitely needed a bigger venue. The funeral home couldn't hold it. People were poured into every single room, down the halls, and out into the parking lot. A lot of people couldn't even get access and watched from across the street as he pulled off in the rig in his last alarm. And the day before for the viewing was everything my brother would have loved and he deserved. So thank you all. I mean, that parking lot looked like a Lion Sunday tailgate. There wasn't empty space to be had, tents and coolers everywhere. Everybody just having a good time. I mean, you had to park in various parking lots all up and down 5 Mile just to try to walk over to the funeral home parking lot to have a drink. He would have loved it. He would have loved every minute of it. And thank all of you for that. I thank all of you for that. I spoke to a lot of people after the funeral who were delegated to being down the halls and outside who couldn't really hear, and they were disappointed that they didn't get to hear the eulogy. We do have an audio copy of that, and we put together a little video with that audio copy, and we're going to put it at the end of the episode this week. So anybody who's not into sports or comedy or whatever, you can just fast forward right to the end of the episode after the credits, and you can watch that eulogy and slideshow so that you'll all have a chance to see it. I just, again, thank you all. It was amazing. And the flags are still half mast over here at DWMOD. And we're going to start this week's episode with a moment of silence from our brother, Lieutenant Brian Wilson. Godspeed, brother. You ain't gone. You're just down the road. And I'll see you soon.
We cutting loose.
Touchdown.
Ready? College football is now B1G versus SEC.
Down. Hook.
If you ain't listening to All Right Bet with me and Andy St. Clair, you're throwing away money.
Ready?
All Lions fans drinking that Kool-Aid. Super Bowl. Hey, disagree with me or don't. That's how it works. And we got it figured out. There it is. We're just right in there. No intro needed. Andy's there. We start the damn show, Louis. I love you, buddy. You're getting better every week. We're going to see what our guest feels later, though, on the All Right Bet. We're going to make him. Yeah, you're going to play the long version for him. We're going to get a little vote on that. That's a little long for me. But anyway, let's jump into it. All-Star game last night, Andy. What a game. Looked like a turd and wound up being fantastic.
Yeah, it's good. You know, like I have to say, though, and I feel like I'm a lot of people, but I can only speak for myself. The All-Star games I used to watch all the time when I was younger.
Yeah.
Now as I've gotten older, NBA, NFL,
Garbage.
I don't watch them. And I check in. I will check into the score, right?
Yeah.
I'll check in and be like, oh, okay, cool. But that's about as much as I'll give you in these things, in the All-Star games.
Yeah, I like the baseball one, like you said, nostalgically, and compared to the other ones, it's not bad. The guys are out there trying to play. It's just the managers trying to make sure everybody gets in the game that kind of ruined it, because the guys do take it seriously. Like the pitchers aren't out there throwing lofties and giving up homers, and like they're it's not like the NBA where nobody's playing deep. They play, but it's just they don't play strategy to try to win. I really listen. People hated it. I loved it when home field advantage was on the All-Star game. I was like, yeah. This is great, man. This is absolutely fantastic. I think they should do that, because then the managers got to manage the game. They played that thing hard as hell. And for a good few years there, those games were 3-2, 2-1. They were hella games, man. I liked that idea, but money got in the way and that got nixed. Here's my problem with the game this year. I like the swing off at the end. Nobody wants extra innings. I get that. We're not doing that. Nobody's getting hurt. The swing off thing was cool, but man, I just, what's his name is escaping me right now. Boone, the manager for the Yankees that was managing the American League. Is this guy is he the worst manager in baseball? Could the Yankees just get rid of him or what? They go into the swing off and they go to him and he goes, I'm going to go Rooker, a Rosarina, and a Rhonda. And I'm sitting there going, all right, Rooker maybe as your third pick. You know what I mean? Is fine because he hit 2 out of 3. He's a bomber. A Rosarina and a Rhonda? Right. Like,
I think
And
he
then
was
they
just ready to
brought
go home.
Roberts out and they asked Roberts, and he's like, "Oh, we're going Schwarber, we're going Pete Alonso." I'm like, yeah.
Right. I think Boone was just ready to go home. He was like, I need a break. I think he was like, just put these guys up there. Let's go.
What an asshole. Like, we're watching the All-Star game, and then you get this chance. You get this chance to like have this epic finish to it in the first swing off ever. And like on your bench, you've got Judge, you've got, oh, I don't know. This could have been a great story. I don't know. Cal Raleigh just won the home run derby and then he could walk off the All-Star game. Like where's your fucking head at, man?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It seemed crazy when it happened. That was the one part I saw. And I'm like, okay.
yeah.
I guess he wants to go home.
Yeah, give me Otani and Schwarber and Alonso, and then give me like Judge and Raleigh. And come on, man. Like, what the? You had a chance to really score.
It's like if it was the NBA and it was like a free throw contest, and the West, whoever's coaching the West was like, I'm going to leave Steph on the bench. You're like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah,
like,
right.
You're an 89% free throw shooter. You're like, no. I'm gonna let Zubac, the center for the Clippers, shoot. Like, no, he was like 62%. What are you doing?
He didn't get in the game yet, though. Like, what's this, Little League?
Right.
You know, and then like this, I'm gonna wrap it up on this though. This has always been one of my biggest problems, especially as a longtime youth coach too. Right? Parents are always like, "Oh, well, if the kids didn't get in the game, winning and losing is not important. And if it's the end of the game, even if the game's on a line, you got to get the kids in that didn't play." And I've always had a huge problem with that for a lot of reasons. Number one, be a better coach and get those kids in the game early. Because then the kids who are working really hard, they're all working really hard, but you follow me. The kids that are getting to 6th, 7th grade, this is a little competitive. You want to try to win the game. Don't put yourself in a position where you tried to win it in the first 2 quarters and got away from you. You're an asshole. And now these kids didn't play. Play them early, try to go after it later. But I always felt like, are you kidding me? That kid knows he doesn't play a lot already. You want me to put him in the game and put him up there to bat in the 9th inning with the game on the line? Kids are unmerciful. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to put that kid in a 100% chance of failure so that everybody can be pissed at him and get on him. No, don't do that to a kid. And that's what they did with the Ronda. Like, what he had not been in the game or something. They're like, oh, yeah, you'll be the last batter in the swing off. And then he looks like an asshole and he feels like shit. Like,
it's coming in cold, too. So cold. It's coming in cold.
Coming in cold. Like, you did that kid a giant disservice and you thought you were being like a good guy because I'm going to make sure he gets in the game or whatever. I'm like, come on, man. Don't be an idiot. I always thought that was bullshit. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that to a kid. Put him up there. He's guaranteed to fail in the big moment. Don't do that to him.
Right. For sure.
I always thought it was really, really
knock it off,
stupid. Yeah. I should have put that into knock it off. I should have put that into knock it off. Anyways, hey, let's jump into, real quick. Did you see the NHL CBA?
No.
Okay. A lot of people didn't. There's just a couple little tiny bullet points. But one thing I know you're going to be very interested in. A couple tiny bullet points. They just changed the long-term contracts from it used to be signed with your team 8 years, signed with someone else. 7 was the length of the contract was most you could do. Now it's 7 and 6, yada, yada. They did move it to 84 games. We'll see how the NBA responds to that.
Yeah, I did see that.
They did move to 84 games, but I read a little bit about that, and they did explain it. Like, it seems dumb to add 2 games, but then they added in this little comment section, it said, well, it's because the way the schedule is played out now and you play everybody, that it leaves you with an uneven amount of games within your division. And if they can just add 2 games, everybody can play their divisions out evenly. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, the NHL also, they don't have a load management problem, at least not yet. So that's the upside.
Yeah, correct. So that was a big thing. The 2 that I really, there's other stuff in there. Here's a big one was they're going to work for in 2 seasons from now. There's going to be a gradual incline at the league minimum. Their league minimum is going to get to $1 million in the next couple of years, making them the highest paid league minimum of all the major sports, which I thought was really, really cool because they bring in the least amount. So that's them saying, hey, we invest in our guys because our guys invest in us. They don't have a load management problem. They bust their ass in the playoffs. That's why the NHL playoffs are better than any other sport. And they're rewarding the guys. I do like that.
Yeah, I mean, the other way to look at it too, though, is like they're going to lock in a price right now, and in a couple of years, when the NBA and baseball and everybody else does it, and it's much higher than $1 million, the NHL will have a deal in their hands.
I mean,
it's like it's why you do it now, right?
Yeah,
sure. Why you do it now? So, like when the NBA is like, well, league minimum because their cap is exploding is 1.5. League minimum 1.5. And the NHL is going to be sitting with an absolute steal at 1.
Yeah, they'll be sitting good, but they make a lot less money. So, giving the guys the money now, they didn't have to do that. I thought it was a good move. The other one in there that is very funny, you guys. They have lifted the ban on endorsing alcohol. These guys can do beer commercials now. They can do beer commercials now. No tobacco, but they can do the beer commercials. The most fun thing in this contract to me that I initially got really pissed off at, and some of you may be as well, but a lot of people don't dig in and read a little bit. They changed the rules on the emergency backup goalie.
Oh, this is my favorite.
That's the favorite thing, right? Well, all the headlines, because they love to grab headlines, was that they have now just made that a position on the team. They added a roster spot, and everybody can just carry a third goalie. That is not the case. That is not the case. If you read this thing, they protected this thing. They just took care of the emergency backup goalies. Used to be this guy was, ran a plow team up in Minnesota or something, and then he got to be in the game, right? Still the same thing. There's rules. You cannot be this guy. The only reason he gets added as a roster spot, it's at dirt pay, but that means he can then practice with the team. He can come in and get some work on things like that. And instead of being at the mercy of whatever is the backup goalie in that town. Remember, there's only one in each town, and he plays for either team. Well, now this guy can travel with the team, and you have your own emergency backup goalie. But they have rules in place where this guy cannot have been on an NHL contract like in the last 5 to 7 years, something like 3 to 5 years or something, cannot have played in an NHL game in the last 3 years under an NHL contract. Like, they really protected the fact that it still has to be the plow guy. But now he gets a little bit more than free food and beer and a chance to get in the game with the ticket to the suite. He gets paid a little bit and gets to go to practice and travel with the team and shit, which I was like, man, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. I because you just said selling booze, and this is completely off topic, but I just want to ask you if you knew this rule, because I've been doing some college football prep.
Sure.
I told you this. Do you know Notre Dame was not selling alcohol to the general public? And this is the first year it's going to happen.
I believe it.
Crazy.
I believe it.
Now, give me those night games in Notre Dame now, because that stadium is going to be a boozy mess.
Oh, man. Listen to the hypocrisy of it all. You're handing out free wine on Sunday so that you can molest some children, but you can't buy a beer at the football game. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, the premium seats could buy alcohol, but now it's general. Everyone can get alcohol.
Yeah, well, I was
anyway,
that money for NIL, baby.
When you said that they could do beer commercials, of course, I immediately popped to Notre Dame's so weird. Why are they so weird?
So weird. They're so weird. They're so behind the times. All right, man. Well, that's it for our little rundown this morning. Let's jump into some quick hits. But of course, quick hits is brought to us by your good old boy, the Hall of Fame minor league baseball announcer Gordon Butterfield is on the call for what just happened.
What just happened? What just happened is brought to you by the Gold Dust Coffee Company. Wake up to a golden dust sunrise or the freshest Kenyan farm coffee beans you'll find in all your favorite flavors, from espresso to vanilla. There's even hazelnut. Just scan the barcode and download the app, and you'll be well on your way to ordering the freshest coffee beans that Kenya has to offer. That's the Gold Dust Coffee Company, and don't forget to add your discount code DWMOD for 10% off. It's Gordon approved. It's always a game of chance on the giant water slide, but Janet Kopakowski's ready to see what turns up on the river. And take off. Oh, she's too stiff. That's a bad idea. Fusion surgery. Oh, my. Let's take another look and see where she destroys vertebrae C4 and 5 and 6 and 7. She's sky high and looks like she died 5 days ago. Rigor mortis. Oh, my. Her back's as red as a beet. Oh, what just happened?
Andy, I had to play that one again. Shout out to listener Jake Rogers, not from the Tigers. Jake Rogers could be, maybe it is, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it, but he said that is his aunt in the video. And if I could please play that one again this week so he could get everybody to watch it.
Wow.
Jake, thank you for listening, man. There you go. There it
is. It's just a good PSA because it is, lake season, pool season. It's just, I thought it was really smart to play again.
Yeah, you're always taking a chance on the river, though. Remember that, everybody down there. All right, man, let's hit these quick hits. Okay, couple up top here from my brother. this is a big one he'd love. Big U of M fan, diehard U of M fan, and you saw well, you'll see the pictures at the end of a very famous moment he had at the big house where he got on the field when we knocked off Ohio State. I think it was Hutch's senior year, and he gets down on the field, Andy. He gets down on the field after the game, and somehow you'll see it in the eulogy footage at the end of the episode. Somehow he gets somebody to get right in line with him. He's on the field, and behind him is the scoreboard. They've won the game. And the Buckeye guy is right there in the front row with his wife and whatever, the Buckeye necklace and everything. He's standing right there. And my brother's just looking back at him. He's just flipping him right off with the scoreboard in the background. And the guy's just got a pissed off look. And I'm like, it's the greatest fucking photo ever. I'm like, he had a knack for getting that kind of shit done. I'll tell you what. But this one's for him here at U of M, the first school in the history of 4 major sports to have 4 guys drafted in the first round of all 4 major sports this year. First round draft pick in football, basketball, hockey, and baseball, all in the same year. I got to tell you, I'm shocked by that.
I'm with you. I saw this earlier and I couldn't believe it. I would assume someone would have done it.
You would think, but then when you start thinking about it, you think, oh, but I guess what schools really have all 4 sports like that and that are that good at them?
It's like hockey is a really tough one, right? Like Michigan, like BC, you're like, well, man, probably not,
Yeah. So then you got to be a niche school that has a good hockey team to get a first round pick, but that also means you live in cold weather, so you're out on baseball.
Right.
It's tough. I guess it's tougher than I thought when you think about it. So congratulations to Michigan and 2 first round picks in football. So, I mean, that's pretty cool little stat. Hey, one more for him. I know he was happy about this all season long, man. McKinstry, fire up, Chips. My brother at Chippewa, me at Chippewa. We're fired up that old Zach McKinstry from the Chippewas and made the all-star team. And here's one of his best plays from the season. And I love this play. I'm not going to show you a home run or a great catch or something like that. I'm going to show you something that is dead in baseball nowadays because this I love. Check this play
They're like a statue, like no big deal. There's not going to be a play here. Why is McKinstry even throwing this ball? I don't know. What athletes are out on this field right now?
I mean, look at that throw, Andy, from right field. I mean, and he throws him out. He's playing off the line, has to run over there, pick it up, windmill, and hoses the dude at third, man. What a play.
Yeah, it's nice, man. That guy's nice.
You don't see that anymore. And that guy was a 33rd round draft pick out of Central Michigan. They don't even have a 33rd round anymore. That's how buried he was. He's 10 years banging around the league. He's an all-star this year, man. Fire up, Chips. That's great. Okay, Andy, this is a guy you and I are going to dig in on for the rest of the year coming up on football season.
Okay.
We are going to be unmerciful, and we are going in hard on Paul Feinbaum this year. We are going to tear this fraud apart this year on this show. I'm so sick of this dude. Check this out. Why Feinbaum is concerned about Dunner Stockton. I'll tell you why, because it generates clicks. Who gives a shit? His show, I don't know about you, man, but I can't take it. This guy's whole platform is built on a show where he lets 2-bit hillbillies and morons call in and give the worst takes ever, and then he gets to rip them as being smarter than them. And he's become much like Stephen A. Has just become a caricature of himself, and he doesn't say anything he even honestly believes anymore.
Right? Isn't he an Alabama guy?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
I don't listen to him. I always, anytime I see him, I'm just kind of roll my eyes and move on.
He's a fraud. He went in so hard on Michigan, and then they won the title, and he ate a bunch of shit. And it's just like, he's one of these guys, man. He'll just say whatever he needs to say to try to get clicks. He doesn't have a honest thought in his head, and he spends hours a day on a highly rated show where every 2-bit hillbilly and moron thinks they're going to be a star, and they call in and say the craziest shit. You're a bum. We're going to tear you apart this year, my friend. We're coming. We are coming. Okay, last one here, Andy. I think I don't know if you saw this, but you're familiar with Padres Dodgers.
Oh yeah,
this year, how it's gotten. Like Tatis has been hit 3 or 4 times. He was hit 2 times in 3 games. They nail him. He's pissed off. They hit Ohtani. Shit got crazy. But I don't know if you caught how scared Mookie Betts is of Tatis. Watch this interaction here. Watch. Well, look at Icho touch him. What Tatis say right there, man? Look at you see Mookie Betts. I mean, he was like, Whoa, back
Yeah,
right
man.
up. I don't think he wants anything to do with Tatis, man. He looked pretty
No.
scared.
Tatis a big dude too.
He's a big dude, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't take Mookie Betts as that type of dude though, man. So whatever, Tatis must have been serious as hell, and Betts was like, man, I ain't getting in it.
Yeah, all right, man. You're right. We're cool, man.
His face was scared as hell. One more look at that, Louis. Watch this. He's, hey man, don't touch me, man. Oh shit, my bad.
Yeah.
He was like,
Yes,
whoa. See right at the end, he goes, whoa, man, dang, whoa.
Yeah. Man. And my wife?
I love that one, man. I love that one. All right, well, listen, let's get into your favorite segment of the week. It's No Way. We're going to have a little fun on No Way. We're going to sprinkle in some of the comedy here, guys, because there is some funny shit to cover in No Way. And No Way this week is going to be brought to you by the Detroit Improv Festival. Come and check out Flying Chuck, guys. We're going to be on that show. Andy and I are going to be on that show. Nemeth Brothers going to be hosting that show. As we've told you before, you got Mark Rosecca from the Sketch School. You got Johnny Slamtown, Johnny Hennigan, Johnny Detroit. This guy's had so many belts across wrestling, you can't even name them. All right, you got Brett Cannell from Second City. We got Brian Hunt from Dad Style Comedy. The two of us. This thing is going to be off the chain, man. August 8th in Detroit. Get your tickets online at DetroitImprovFestival.com, and we will see you there.
Yep.
We will see you there. Andy, looking forward to it.
It's gonna be fun, man. Show up, come say hi, and tell us if you like the pot, for sure.
Yeah, come on through, man. Come on through on that. All right, let's jump into some No Ways this week. Let's do it.
No way. There's no way. No way.
A lot of people up in arms about this. ESPN ranked Derek Jeter 28th on Major League Baseball's all-time player list, and Pujols is number 30. People up in arms about this. Like, what's your stand on this, Andy?
Oh, that is a tough one. I mean, I like Pujols, a little more than Jeter, but I get that people like Jeter. Like Jeter was, sometimes those '90s Yankees were awesome. Now there's a lot of good players, but Jeter was a very important player on that team. So, I think Jeter, his end of his career wasn't great, but those end of the year once Albert left St. Louis. Those some rough years with
real rough,
so I get why you would rank Jeter above Albert, but I like Albert more. I maybe it's because I'm grew up in Missouri and so close to a lot of people who like Pujols more, but to me it's close, but Jeter's probably fine.
Yeah, this is phony outrage. Number one, like you said, it's close. What are we even arguing? But like you said, to me, the difference maker is here. There is no way. Listen, Pujols is absolutely one of the greatest hitters of his generation. I mean, him and Cabrera were the two greatest hitters of a generation. There's no doubt about it. But you can't put a guy ahead of another guy because of how he hit. The guy DH'd and played first base, man. Jeter was 5-time Gold Glove shortstop of the New York Yankees that won multiple championships. He's the all-time hit leader of the New York Yankees, dude. Like, this guy's one of the greatest players in the history of the game. They both are, but there's no way you're telling me you're not giving a nod to a guy who plays every day at shortstop. If you remember a youth sports throwback here again, like that's where you put the best damn kid on the team.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Let it go.
No way. There's no way. No way.
All right, Andy, what is your take on MLS? Major League Soccer in the United States.
I watch it a little more in the last few years. I'm not like the biggest fans. I've been to a couple games out here in LA, and it to be honest with you, it's awesome. They've been a really fun environment the times I've went. But I know the playoffs are in like November, December, and that's right in the heart of football season. So to be honest, it kind of goes away for me. But I'm not against it. I do enjoy it. I will check out Messi, but I'm pretty agnostic overall towards it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat here. I'm not going to shit on soccer. Like I don't care for it. I've tried my hardest, and I just can't get into a game where the main strategy of the game is to specifically not to try to play the game, and then to try to get some extra time, and then it ends 0-0, and people can't score on a goal that's bigger than a wide open barn door, like because they won't try to until the end. It's just not. It's not for me. It's not for me. But like you said, I'm with you. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. Like a lot of people enjoy going. It's a fun atmosphere. I'll go to a game. It's a fun atmosphere. The chance, go and have some drinks. Fun. It's fine. My biggest beef is quit trying to sell me like it's the fastest growing thing in the United States and it's red hot and soccer is all the rage in the USA. And so it's not. USA soccer's terrible. The guys don't take it serious. They're sitting out of tournaments to prep themselves for the World Cup because they need rest. MLS is a joke on a global scale compared to soccer players. I mean, look, power rankings. Messi can't be stopped. Miami's on top. Messi is dominating soccer over here in the States, and he couldn't be on a team over in Europe right now. So my take is that's fine, but it is what it is. Quit trying to sell me that this is going to take off in America. Never.
Right.
Never.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Never.
No way. There's no way. No way.
Okay, quick question for you, Andy. Who you in arm wrestling?
I mean, I'll do it with you if you want to do it.
I'm not arm wrestling anybody. I'll tear not at my age.
That's why I'll hurt myself. I think you got to get like 4 or 5 drinks down me, and they got to be not beer drinks. They got to be liquored up.
Yeah, it is the one thing that no matter where you are on the scale of I'll say what most people say, toxic masculinity, but for regular folks, you just call it being a guy. No matter where you're at on that scale of being a guy, like I'm not competitive, I'm not really into sports, or I love sports and I'm competitive. Wherever you are, I fix my car, I don't know what an alternator is. Yeah. Wherever you are, arm wrestling is absolutely the one thing where if a couple of guys are drunk, it could be a couple of guys from, the science department at Cal. They will turn their hats backwards and immediately turn into cavemen.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's kind of fun. It's beautiful. Question for you. I mean, we all remember over the top. By the way,
my arm hurts just talking about it because I know the pain. The pain is.
Yeah. I'm at scale of manhood, Andy. I'm at the place where I'm too old for that shit. You ain't talking me into it.
Oh, no way.
We all remember Over the Top, though. We fucking loved that as kids, man. So the hypothetical flying around right now is who would win an arm wrestling competition between He-Man and Popeye?
Wow. Tough one. I think if I was laying the odds on that, I feel like Popeye is like plus 160. I think He-Man would be the betting favorite, but I gotta tell you, I'd probably take the dog. I mean, Popeye's forearms they're just enormous. Like they're crazy.
They're crazy. They're crazy. And look, I mean, I'm a He-Man guy. I love me some He-Man, man. But here we go. Here's the evidence. There it is. Popeye taking him down. Look, Sheila's pissed. Skeletor's laughing. Popeye taking him down. I think what everybody forgot is spinach, buddy. Spinach.
Yeah. Well, you also, there's, as you know, in arm wrestling, sometimes there's dudes who I've seen dudes who are stronger than dudes that are arm wrestling. Oh. But the dudes that arm wrestling who are good at it, know how to do it, just win. And they might not be as strong as the other guy. So that's kind of I feel what Popeye's advantage is. I bet on those ships, he did a lot of arm wrestling. He-Man's probably never arm wrestled in his entire fucking life. No. He's just been he's He-Man. Yeah. But Popeye's been arm wrestling for years. And that's where I think the advantage is.
I think you're right. I think you're right, man. And let me put this up here one more time just so you guys can see the handle here. This is Toy Photography International. You can find them. They got a page, and they do these photos like this of these toys, reenacting stuff with the liquor bottles and shit like that, man. Me and my brother used to love those fucking photos. They're hilarious, man. Yeah. They're just funny-ass videos. You can scroll through them for hours, man, hours.
No way. There's no way. No way.
All right, let's jump a little Lamar Jackson. We usually talk this on the show. And for me, it's still the fact that they gave this guy the MVP last year. Look, I'm not a Lamar hater, but stop it. Saquon Barkley should have got that award running away. Shouldn't even have been close.
Wait, it was Josh Allen.
Oh, sorry. I mean, yeah, okay. I'm talking the year before. Josh Allen. I'm talking about the year before. But I saw some interesting stats that somebody put his MVP season up against a former Bills quarterback that is not Josh Allen. I'm glad you said Josh Allen because I meant to, because Bills quarterback on the mind here. Tyrod Taylor. There's Lamar's MVP season, and this was a season Tyrod Taylor and the Bills absolutely were atrocious. Yeah, the numbers are, they're almost identical to an extent. There's an extra 800 yards there for Lamar at the end of the season, but I don't know. There just seems to be this different set of rules for the award itself has to go to a quarterback. And they pin themselves into a place where, well, it has to go to a quarterback. And yeah, Every single year, this guy's going to have advantage over every single quarterback because they're like, well, he also ran for 800. Oh,
Right.
okay, but I don't get it.
Yeah, but the problem is Lamar is, one of the best 3 to 4 or 5 quarterbacks. So his
Easily.
odds are always going to be low. His odds are he's going to be, he gets the attention when he deserves it, and he gets the hate when he also deserves it, which
Sure.
is typically in the playoffs. So, I don't know. I'm okay with Lamar winning. I'm okay with Lamar generally. I like Lamar. I think 2 years ago he had no receivers and he had no running back. And he actually had a better year last year when he had a running back. So, I thought he probably should have beat Josh Allen last year personally, but Josh Allen's team had a better record. So it goes to the quarterbacks who had the bet, obviously
every time. Barkley should have got it that year, and a couple of years back, Cooper Kupp should have got it hands down. Triple Crown's the best player in the league.
McCaffrey was really good, I think.
Maybe McCaffrey as well, but there just does seem to be a double standard, as if he's the only guy that does that. Now, listen, we all know that. I'm going to show you a graphic right now of a guy that we all shit on, and I don't think this guy is amazing by any means. I don't. But let's look at Daniel Jones' season. Okay, this was 21. This is the exact replica of that season on Lamar Jackson's. I mean, to a T, except Daniel Jones had more touchdowns rushing.
Yeah.
And he's not even in the discussion for anything in that season. So
what year was that?
21, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, he had 8 turnovers, I don't know, it's not, but I wouldn't, if you were, where am I taking, Daniel Jones in the list if I was starting a franchise?
That's always where the question goes next. I'm glad you brought that up. It always
30?
turns into, well, who would you take if you're doing it? That's not what the award's about.
Well, but I mean, I would love to look at. Let me look at. I got to see this Daniel Jones 2021 season.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's 2021. I think it's 2021.
Let's look at his
3,200 passing, 708 rushing, 22 touchdowns, only 8 turnovers. And that season, Lamar had 2 fumbles lost. So he had 9 turnovers. Lamar had 9 turnovers. 200 something more yards passing and 100 more rushing. So it's just like, listen, Lamar's way better than Daniel Jones. Everybody wants to turn this into that. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying it just seems to be this thing where they made it only a quarterback award, and he's the best athlete among the quarterbacks, so he just gets it. And it's like, just stop that, man.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, but Daniel Jones only played 11 games a year, whatever. But but it's going to go to a quarterback.
Damn, so, he missed 6 games and still put those numbers up.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. He was about to have the best season ever for a quarterback. 4,000 yards and 1,000 rushing he might have got to.
Well, he would probably.
Holy shit. That was going to be in a crazy year. And that was really, people don't understand, that was really the end of his career because he broke his neck that season, I think.
Yeah.
He broke vertebrae in his neck. He was never the same. So,
yeah.
But I'm like,
right.
I don't know. I'm like, just my point here is get the MVP award back on track and just give it to the best goddamn guy.
No way. There's no way. No way. It's not going to, though. There's no way. There is no way.
Exactly.
Let me tell you a person I think you should take right now to win MVP. You're not going to like it, but you can see where my head's going. At 25-1, Jordan Love. It's like if you just want to cut out the 3 of Jackson, Mahomes, and Allen, which have all kind of won it in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
which is generally kind of a smart move, right? They rarely will. Mahomes is getting back into he could do it.
Sure.
You're gonna looking down Love might be a nice play.
He could be. He'll have to. Yeah, we'll get to that. He's a little inconsistent for me. We'll get to it another time, but I will tell you when we get to it. I am going to tell you I am putting money on Barkley for MVP this year because if he does 2,000 again, odds will be long. If he goes 2,000 again, they may consider giving it to him. But we'll see. We'll see when we get there.
Just put the no way in there for me again.
Yeah, no way. No way. That's what it's about. No way. They're never going to change that award.
They're not going to do it.
They'll change the name.
Offensive Player of the Year?
Sure. Right. What a joke. All right. This is one of the favorite things that I put together this weekend, Andy. Now, listen, I know you and your wife, you have a great marriage. Really good marriage. You guys are strong. You're solid. Good friend. I mean, anybody that knows you guys knows you guys are tight. Anybody that knows me and Chloe, solid as a rock. I mean, it's home team. You couldn't bust this up if you tried. But I see all these ads on the internet all the time for if your marriage is failing and here's some things you can try. And this one got me, man. This one got me. So this is, if you and your husband are at your end, try this thing. It's these cards. Look at this first one, man. Now, hold on a second, Louis. Hold on a second. We didn't give the proper setup here. So there are these cards that, like, if you just have one last chance, try some of these cards that will just spark discussions between the two of you that will really get that flame going again, right? So put the first one up because we paused them on all the questions on them. What's the first question on one of these cards, bro?
Yeah. What job? What career?
Wait, what are you're not going to get the right answer on that.
No, because I want to say like basketball player. Like I'm going to say something crazy.
There's nothing you're going to say about what would be a career better than the one I have. How is that romantic in any way? And any answer you give is going to be wrong because it's going to be like, you don't think I could? And then she's going to tell you what she was thinking. This is terrible. Let's keep this moving. This is great to me. You kidding me? If you answer that question and your wife asks you that question, you're dumb as rocks.
Yeah, it's a trap. That's a trap question.
Oh, you're dumb. I'm supposed to fix my relationship with argument cards. These are argument cards. These are cards on how to start an argument.
100%. Like there's no way. I would just be like, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. And then I would just never bring it up again.
These are easily cards they should be selling to men for, hey, want to go on that golf trip, but you're not going to be able to? Get your ass kicked out for the weekend.
Right.
That's what these should be. Here you go. Here's come on, man. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. I could just, every time I'm reading these, I can just see Admiral Akbar. Oh, it's a trap. Pull out.
No way. I'm not answering that. It'd be like beautiful, wonderful, whatever. I just like get out.
That's it. That's all you see me. These are argument cards. You're selling argument cards.
Let's watch a movie. See if we belong through a movie.
I was thoroughly convinced when I looked into this company that I was going to find out that this was a company wisely put together by some divorce lawyers.
Right.
Like, it really is like, if you're on the edge, let's put this shit over the top. Call Bob. You know what I mean? Like, here's the last. Maybe this one.
Right. This is the funniest one. This is the funniest one.
Right. Like, you might be able to get away with that one. But those other ones, would you play this game?
No.
No, and you're in a solid spot. If this was just for fun on a Friday in a really strong marriage, would you play this game?
Oh, no way. There's no way. No way.
There is no fucking way, my man.
If you're because whether you know or not, you're gonna say one of those. You're gonna slip up on and say something that offends your partner, and that's what you're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
Not the 10 other awesome answers. The one bad one.
And you're already telling me that if I'm using these cards, I'm in a position where we don't like each other and we're about to call it quits. And you think we're both going to go into this with the mindset of, oh, that was so sweet what you said. These are argument cards. Don't buy the argument.
I lost my memory, and the one thing you tell me is I like anal. That's the one. You'd be like, this is a joke.
Yeah.
I was just joking around.
You're begging for shit answer. You ain't lying, man. You know what I mean? What would you tell somebody about me? That you're a 2-bit nagging bitch. If you're about to get divorced, not that, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
I was joking. Oh, bad
joke. These are argument cards for people about to have a divorce. No, thank you. We're out on these. No way. Okay, let's drop into our last segment here, which is usually my favorite one. Get to hear Jamie's voice. I always love it. Think it's hilarious. It's going to be knocking up. But before we get to that, Better Be Good is back, guys. Better Be Good is back, and here's the teaser for the new episode that drops this afternoon.
Another episode of Better Be Good. We're back, baby. We're in the building. We're outside, but we're going to be in the building. We're here at Ramyun.
Ramyun Gallery.
CCB.
K-Food and Snack Bar. We're here at Duluth. We're going to check it out. Better Be Good.
Y'all might well turn them cameras off. We finna keep eating.
Hey,
Yeah.
check it out. Dropping today, man. That was a really cool space. This is one of the, I don't know why there's not more of those around, Andy. The place was you go in, you pick your style of ramen noodle, and they're all imported. These aren't like, the ones from Kroger and shit. You pick your pack of noodles, and then you pick all of the things that you want to go in it, proteins, dumplings, whatever. And then you go down the thing like at Subway or something, and you're adding all the stuff to your noodles, and then they cook them right there in front of you. Anyway, it was great. The episode was great. I got full. I'm telling you, and I had a
The Fat Podcast is back, baby.
It is back, but you saw my face at the end of that thing. Just happy. Just happy
man.
eating.
Remember, I've always wanted blood pressure check, beginning of the season, end of the season.
Oh, man, you're going to get one. You're going to get one. And I will give you a teaser here. I had the craziest Asian concept ice cream at the end of this thing that most people would be like, I'm not eating that. And it was fucking delicious, bro. I'm going to tell you that right now. It was delicious. But check it out. Anyway, let's get into some knock it off.
All right, everyone. Time to do me a favor and knock it off.
For years on the show, Andy, you know where I've stood with these formulas and these nerds and sports and the computers and and now we're starting to find out that this shit has jumped the shark. That it has jumped the shark completely. There was an article, big article on The Athletic this weekend that most teams' front offices are starting to understand that, the human element is way more important than the electronical advantage, as guys are just in the dugout looking at their own iPads.
Right.
No input from anybody else. You're looking at that. It's a reflection of the world right now. It's you and the computer, no one else, no interactions. And they're starting to understand that's not helping guys hit. You have all the information you want, but you don't have any of the other stuff that comes from the dugout, man. Like you're here for the boys and everybody's got your back and the coach is pumping you up. And there's no human element anymore. And guys, that doesn't translate into play. But my bigger issue is how we are all being manipulated with what we think is the truth from these AI computers. And I'm just like, all right, take a look at this. I don't know if you saw this. Okay. This Pete Crow Armstrong makes this catch here, but this is a baseball savant. He's got this company has this whole like, what's the probability of this catch? Okay. This computer of his estimated that this catch had a 0% success rate. 0% success rate. Okay. Some of the things were 3.65%. That's a 0% catch rate on that catch, Andy.
It's pretty good.
It's a great catch. Is that a catch? Does that blow your mind on the all-time places of catches? And it says he laid out 12 feet through the air. And I'm like, I'm watching the end of the video. I can count the steps. Like you're manipulating this computer to try to get me to click this with these holy shit catch. And I'm looking at, he took like 6 or 7 steps and he didn't even dive. He's like 6'2". He laid out for it.
Right.
But not laid out for it, but literally just like kind of leaned for it. Not like he dove through the air. And I'm like, this is what you're selling me. Your parameters are fucked up if that's a 0% catch rate.
Yeah. I mean, baseball obviously swung too far into the stats. And I feel like maybe they're swinging with stats too, still with stats, but swinging a little back. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that. I watched that catch and I went, this is too much. And now everybody's just like, well, no, the computer says. I mean, and I'm like, the computer's not saying that. The people who are telling you the computer said that.
Right.
You want to see a catch with a 0% catch rate? Let's check out this one.
There's a fly ball center field, long run for Jim Edmonds. Oh, he made a catch! Unbelievable!
Yeah, that's 0%. 13 steps and a Superman dive through the air, blind to the ball as your back is to it, and then catch it over the shoulder. That's 0%.
I have ever seen.
That's probably the greatest catch in the history of baseball. That or Willie Mays in the World Series, right?
Appreciate it, Steve, as much as we do.
This is crazy. Look at this. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Superman dive catch.
He's able to dive for that ball to pull it in.
I mean,
what a play
come on,
by
dude.
Jim Edmonds.
He is absolutely phenomenal.
That's crazy.
Hey.
Greatest catch ever.
Why? I was on mute this whole time. I'm like, not this catch. Why would you? Why? And then you muted me and I just had to watch the whole thing again.
I promise you that is a problem with this software from StreamYard here.
As soon as I saw it, the at-bat, I was like, no, I don't want to, not this catch. And then, it's an awesome catch. But and those were bad Royals teams. But you're like, and that's at the K, man. It's at the coffin. That's deep center too. It's an awesome catch. But I don't need you're showing me how bad the Royals are. And I'm like, I've seen it for like a lot of my life.
Yeah.
My no way is no way that you're making me watch the Royals be bad again. I see them currently.
I wish I could have had you on. I wish I could have had you on there. But I mean, what a fucking grab, though. Jim M is one of the greatest to ever do it. So don't give me that. My computer said 0% chance on a regular good catch.
All right, everyone. Time to do me a favor and knock it off.
And here's the last one as baseball reared its ugly head at the home run derby. You were watching. Again, we are told the computer knows best. Now, you know, it came down to the longest home run between Cal Raleigh and Rooker, who got to advance to the next round. And then they did this math thing. They didn't even they said longest home run will break a tie, right? They both hit 471 feet. So then even the announcer's like, oh, we're going to have a quick swing off, 3-hit swing off between the two. Oh, no. Then they came back and said, oh, wait, the computers generated whose ball went further, and Cal Raleigh's ball went further by 1/2 an inch. Then how the fuck stop?
Yeah.
Look at this. Rooker's 470.5, Raleigh's 470.61. They were both 471 feet, man. They're telling me by a tenth of a meter. Like, this is bullshit. And again, people are like, oh, wow, those computers are amazing. They just know how much bullshit. There's a room full of people going, Cal Raleigh's a way bigger story right now. 38 home runs at the break. We're calling him Big Dumper every 5 minutes. People love that we're saying Big Dumper. You got to keep Raleigh in the contest. And then he wins the thing and they get their big moment for an upcoming start. You're not telling me. Like, they made that up on the spot.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's almost as crazy as if I was to do a knock it off where I was like, this is how you don't get a perfect game. And then I show you one clip. And then I show you the next clip. They're like, no, this is how you don't get a perfect game. And I show you that Tigers pitcher who the umpire said and blows his program. I'm still hung up on this Royals clip you wanted to show of me in the catch.
Oh, you just wanted to show me Jim Joyce blowing that call at first
right.
base.
This would be like, that's not how you blow a perfect game. This is how you blow a perfect game.
Yeah, right. Well, listen, I am going to say this, and I'm lobbying baseball hardest, number one, for Lou Whitaker being a Hall of Fame. And number two, I'm lobbying Major League Baseball the hardest to going back and changing that and give them the perfect game. And here's why. Don't give me any of the slippery slope. Then you got to go back and change all these games like the Cardinals World Series call where the guy was safe and
No, that's against the Royal. What are you doing?
Yes, I said I don't want to do that. I said I don't want to.
Now you're just more Royal slander of it. You're trying to take away.
That was 85, man. I know. Listen, George Brett fan over here, baby.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm saying you can't go back and change all those other things because then they change the outcomes of games and then it's only like what was a game 6, so you don't know what happens in the next. You can't do that. With the Tigers game, the perfect game, Jim Joyce blows that call. You just go back and change that call and you give them the perfect game. The outcome of the game is the same. Tigers won the game. It's a regular season game. The only thing you're changing in the history of baseball is just getting it right. It was a perfect game. Look, do it. Just do it.
Don Dickinger, I believe his name was Don Dickinger. He's the one of the 85 called, guy said. God bless him. We always had room in our house for Don Dickinger. He was always available to swing by.
I tell you, man, I would love to get Armando on the show and see if he would, and let's really push this thing, man. Let's lobby to get him that perfect game because that is a bunch of bullshit. These fucking computers, man, just knock it off with the computers.
All right, everyone, time to do me a favor and knock it off.
I'm for real. Just knock it off with the computers, people. Acting like we don't know that they can't manipulate it and just put. I mean, you guys have. I mean, you've been on Twitter. You've seen Grok. I mean, no, it's AI. It's telling the truth. No, it's telling what you want it to tell. I mean, let's knock it off with the computers. That's enough of that. All right, Andy. We got a very special guest coming in here for the All Right Bet segment. Mr. Medic Jeanette. This guy's a comedian all over Atlanta. This guy's, he's hilarious. We've had him on more than a few of the shows that I've hosted. If you're doing the show, you're trying to get a hold of this guy to get on the show, up and coming star in the comedy scene here in Atlanta, no doubt, branching out Tennessee, North Carolina recently. Also is one of the hosts of the Cutting Loose podcast, which is also here on the Cutting Loose Network. Hilarious show that him and his co-host, Carlos the comedian, and Sir Jeffrey. You guys are familiar with these guys. Also, really good comedians on the scene. Let's bring him in. Medic, how you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. Thank you for having me on the show, Mikey. I'm excited to be here. And like you said, I do a lot of comedy, but what a lot of people don't know about me is I also watch a lot of fights. And today we are here to talk about the upcoming UFC 318 pay-per-view.
100%. 100%. That is why we got you on the show, buddy. We got to bring you in. We got to talk a little cutting loose. We got to bring you in, let everybody know there are other shows on the network. If you're just watching mine, there's good stuff over there. We already showed you the preview earlier for the Better Be Good. That's coming back around. I think, Medic, you're going to be getting a show going, talking strictly combat sports, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a very exciting pay-per-view coming up this Saturday is UFC 318, which is headlined by Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway. And it's actually Dustin Poirier's retirement fight. He's been in the game for over a decade. This guy is a certified warrior, and it is his sort of goodbye send-off fight card. So it's very exciting stuff, man.
Okay, it's going to be swan song, man. Well, you know what? Before we get into this, man, I got to ask you, whatever you're into, however you're enjoying the fights and the games over the weekend, we know what we're doing here. We know the official beer choice of the DWMOD podcast is Old English 800, and we will be watching the fight and enjoying a couple of these.
Brass monkey, that funky monkey, brass monkey chunky.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get some Old English 800, hit it with a splash of orange juice. We'll be enjoying those brass monkeys all during the fights tonight. The official beer choice of the listen to me, DWMOD podcast. Now, Merrick, I didn't play the intro here for Disagree With Me or Don't's All Right Bet segment because we want to get your take on it. Now, Louis, he's already in my ear over here. Don't do it, but that's what we're doing. We're going to play you this. Andy and I feel like it may be a little too long. You let us know what you think.
Wanna bet?
Cash money.
It's time for another episode of All Right Bet.
Wanna bet? No! God, please, no! No!
Tease it. Tease it.
Want a chicken dinner?
I'd buy that for $1.
I mean, it's a lot.
It's too much. It just feels like it goes on about 20 seconds too long.
Yeah. I feel like he got caught in that editing trope where he was like, but I got to get to the end of the song. I mean, it's the gambler, Kenny Rogers. We got to get through the song there, right? I don't know. A little too long. What do you think?
I think it's just about right.
It's good for Louis.
He's giving it to me. He's giving it to me. All right. We'll keep it rolling for a minute or two. All right, before we jump on the fight cards, I got some graphics for us. We're going to run them all down. Merrick is an expert on this. He is going to give us who he thinks we should be betting on in these fights, guys. That's why you're here. We're trying to get some parlays together and things like that. But really quick, before we get to that, just want to remind you guys, if you're new to the show or been listening, we're doing the Big Six picks. That's a thing here. NFL season is around the corner. Every week we have a brand new guest on the show. They'll come in to pick 6 games, 3 pro, 3 college. We'll keep a running total for the whole year. We're giving you picks all year. That is our most popular time of the year for viewers. You know what that is. But during baseball, we're also doing the Big Six pick, guys, every single day over on Facebook, over on Instagram, over on TikTok. We're giving you 6 baseball games every single day that we like. That's a lot of betting for baseball. And right now, I don't know if you know this or not, Medic. I don't know if you're into baseball, but our record right now on the season at the All-Star break is 320 wins with 234 losses. We're almost 100 games over 500 right now. We're cashing in on the Big Six picks, brought to you by Old English 800, the official beer choice of the DWMOD podcast. That's pretty good money.
Big money.
That's pretty big money.
100 over is good.
I mean, that's
good, man.
Come on, man. We're up big over here. If you ain't tuning in, you're a knucklehead. Okay, let's jump into it. The reason you're here, UFC 318, Holloway Poirier. Now, really quickly, bring us up to speed. Some people may not know what happened in the first 2 fights. Where are we sitting here? Is this rubber match or what?
Absolutely. So this would be the 3rd fight in their trilogy. Dustin Poirier won the first 2 fights, and it almost feels like they fight every 6 years. These guys have been in the UFC, like I said, over a decade, almost 2 decades now. And Max and Dustin were both very young, up-and-coming fighters when they first matched up. Dustin won that fight with armbar submission over Max Holloway. And then the second fight went the full 5 rounds, and it was a very exciting co-main event. It actually happened in Atlanta, Georgia, in my city.
Oh, sweet.
And that was a memorable fight between the two. And anytime you have 2 incredible gritty boxers like Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier, you can expect a lot of action. And you can expect it to go almost the full distance because they're both very tough and they're hard to put away. Max Holloway has only been finished once in his career, and that was by Ilia Topuria, who has now become one of the greatest fighters that we've seen in both divisions, featherweight as well as lightweight. And Dustin Poirier, same thing. He rarely ever gets finished, so we can expect a very high level, action packed, boxing heavy striking match between the two of them.
Yeah, these guys are absolutely tough-chinned and stubborn is the only way to put it, man. Stubborn,
Very.
these two. You watch them fight, man. They will not give up. This is going to be a great one. Let's jump on the whole card here. I'm going to let you break down some of these fights. Tell us who you think's going to win these things and tell us what's up. So let's jump on fight number 5. Fight number 5 on the card. Now, this one is going to be Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. This is if I'm not mistaken, it's a lightweight fight.
This is indeed a lightweight fight, Mikey, and this is one of those classic cases of the young eating the old. Michael Johnson has been in the game for years. He had a very famous bout against Justin Gaethje years ago in which he took Justin Gaethje to the brink of defeat, and Justin turned around. Whereas we got Daniel Zellhuber, he's a up-and-coming younger fighter. He's only 26 years old. He's only been in the UFC for, I want to say, about 4 fights now. If you want to know what he's all about, I want you guys to watch his fight against Esteban Rikovic, which happened at UFC 306. And that was UFC Noche Fight Night, which happened in the Sphere in Las Vegas. It's the only time there's been a UFC card inside the Sphere in Vegas, so that was a really cool event.
I watched that.
Yes, it was an amazing fight. Might have been fight of the year that year. And with these two, you got to look at Michael Johnson's experience versus Zellhuber's youth and hunger for the game. And I think in the end, Zellhuber will come out on top simply because, like I said, he's younger, faster, more powerful, and he works a lot with volume. So he never stops coming forward. He's very much an aggressive style fighter. And I think he can take a shot a little bit better than Michael Johnson because Michael has been finished a few times in the past. And he's gotten at that point where I don't think he can take as much punishment like he used to.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the odds here on this thing. Now, there's the card, like you said, at 15-2 out here, but only 4 fights in the UFC there. Michael Johnson, 39 years old to 26. There's the odds here. Johnson, big time underdog, plus 425. I mean, this thing's lean and heavy. Yes. Give us your opinion here. Is this one you just stay away from because there's not really any money to win on Zellhuber, or are you like, hey man, I'll take $5 on the 425 maybe?
You know, that like I said, that's a great underdog odd right there. You got a plus 425. And the one thing I will say Michael Johnson has going for him is he still has that power. And power is usually the last thing to go. If you look at Mike Tyson, he's still fighting in his 50s. And he still has that knockout power. So he has a puncher's chance. So if you were to take some kind of parlay bet and throw a little $5 on the underdog, I would put that into consideration that Michael Johnson is a powerful striker and he can end the fight with one shot. That being said, Zellhuber still has a good chin on him. He hasn't been finished in the UFC. And he is an aggressive, forward-coming fighter. So me personally, I would stay away from that plus 425 number, as appealing as it might be.
Okay.
I just don't see Zellhuber getting finished by Michael Johnson this weekend.
Beautiful. That's what we're looking for. Stay away from that, guys. Stay away from that.
Let me ask you a question. In general, with these UFC, cards, would it behoove, like I like a plus odd, like most people, and we all want the plus odds. What is it a good strategy to like just put $5 or $10 down on every dog? And let's say you 2 or 3 hit on a card, right? And you're going to get those 350s, 425s. If you have 3 of those hit, you're probably on the positive side generally.
Generally, yes.
And and on these UFC cards. Now I'm sure there's some cards where just a favorite to roll, and you're just going to lose on those cards. But would you say that the underdogs are 2 or 3 would hit like once every 2 or 3 pay-per-views, or?
Yes.
Or is it a little longer?
I would say it's a little bit longer. I would say maybe 1 out of 4 or 5 of those underdogs would come out on top. The betting markets are fairly efficient in the UFC, and a lot of times the favorites do come out on top. And when you do see an underdog, it is rare that they beat the Vegas odds. So again, it wouldn't hurt to put a fiver on there just to kind of hedge your bets
Yeah.
for the rest of the card.
Right.
But that's just my opinion on that. Yeah.
Hey, know this, man. Andy loves a dog. He loves a dog, man. He's a heavy dog better.
I would bet 5. I would just put all the dogs. I don't even know this card, but I'm just like, give me 5. Don't parlay them. Just straight up every dog, $5.
Just straight money line, yeah.
Money
You
line
will need 2 to come out ahead.
Yeah. You just need 1 or 2. And if you get 1 or 2, you're good. You know, you're going to be good to go.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
All right, let's jump on fight number 4. Fight number 4. This one seems to be, I think, might be one of the better fights of the night. I probably get corrected here in a minute by you, sir. But let's take a look at this one here. We got Dan Ige. We got the Pit Bull. We got Big Pit Bull come over here. He's 38. Okay, and Dan is 33. Again, an age thing here. Pretty even odds here. Plus 180, minus 220 on Ige. What do you think here?
So Dan Ige is a veteran of the sport. He's what you would consider a company man. He stepped in last minute as a replacement fighter in a lot of these fights that have, when somebody pulls out, he steps in and does his thing. Dan Ige is a powerful puncher. He's known for having that knockout power. They call him 50K Ige because usually when he wins, it's by knockout, and he gets the $50,000 knockout bonus. So Dan is one of those fighters. When he wins by finish. If you look at his last fight against Sean Woodson, it was a controversial finish. Some people thought it was an early stoppage. I personally thought they stopped it when they needed to because Sean was just going to take the extra punishment that he didn't have to. So Dan is a finisher. Pitbull is a newcomer into the sport. He is a champion from a different promotion. He used to be a champion at Bellator.
Little older.
And a bit older, correct. He is pushing 40, so you got to look at all those factors. And if you look at his last fight, it was against Yair Rodriguez, another Mexican striker. And Yair pieced him up, and Pitbull did not have a lot of answers for him. Now that could just be because he had just entered the UFC and he was under the big lights for the first time. So this is another underdog that I probably will stay away from simply because a lot of the factors are against him as far as the age and the experience level in UFC. But I also don't see him getting finished because Pitbull is known for his durable chin. And I don't think he's been finished in a long time. So again, my pick for this one is to stick with Dan Ige, 50K Ige. I might even see a finish here. That's what my prediction for that one.
Okay, for your gambling heads here now, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, but Andy, I think you'd be on board with me here. If we really like Ige in this fight, those are pretty good favorite odds to stack a parlay. Minus 220 is a good little stack on a parlay. It's not like you're giving up, minus 300. Minus 220 is a good little add a third fight onto your parlay. Ige probably going to win, boost that payout. I'll probably do that.
Yeah, but I think you got to, I don't know what the rest of the odds are. You got to be careful, though, because you're going to have to stack 4 or 5.
Sure.
To even hit even money. When again, I just go back to my theory, when just give me that plus 180 and maybe we get lucky, right? I'm just looking for one guy to hit, maybe 2. So if you're going to minus 220, you're going to need to stack like 3 dudes, 4 dudes.
Sure.
It's going to be hard. So we'll go through the rest of the card and see.
Right. Let's see. Let's do that.
We have a 220.
All right, let's jump on to fight number 3 here, welterweight fight here. We got Kevin Holland against Daniel Rodriguez. Again, 32-38. Some older fighters on the card, this whole card. People complaining a little bit about that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Minus 475, plus 340 this is another fight that looks really lopsided, really old. Now, you don't need to get long-winded on this, America, if you don't want to, but like a lot of people kind of saying like, man, for Poirier's final fight, like this should be a huge pay-per-view, man. Everybody wants to see these guys in a third fight, and this card is kind of like old and heavy dogs, man. Like,
yeah, that's been the main complaint. We just had a UFC 317. It was a stacked card, and we had a lot of exciting fights on that one. So this feels more like a fight night card more than a pay-per-view. So those complaints are warranted, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, that's kind of the current UFC model. They're working more off volume than quality. So it's not easy to have bangers every pay-per-view when you have 50 plus events. Because they just don't have the talent to put together those kind of banger cards. But I agree. I think Poirier deserved a better send-off than this. That being said, these are still great fights. Kevin Holland, he's a 2-division fighter. He jumps between welterweight and middleweight. As we've seen in recent fights, his best division is welterweight because he's a little bit longer, leaner, and a little bit faster when he's not carrying as much weight on him. He's also, the competition is a little bit more close in line with who he is as a fighter because the guys at middleweight are just a lot bigger than him. So he was getting finished left and right when he was in middleweight. Now he's back down at welterweight. I think again he has a good chance against D-Rod. D-Rod is a straight up boxer. He's a veteran of the sport. If I were to bet on underdog, I would go D-Rod because Kevin has shown to be inconsistent over the years, and this is a huge underdog number that they put on D-Rod. So I wouldn't mind nibbling a little bit on that. I know Andy, you love a good dog, so
There you go.
this is one I would consider. Because D-Rod is a rugged, experienced fighter, and I don't see him getting put away. And Kevin, sometimes when the going gets tough, can kind of quit on himself. We've seen that before in other fights. However, to give Kevin his due, he is a jiu-jitsu black belt. He is also a slick striker. He's good at hitting and not getting hit. So a lot of there's a reason why he's such a big favorite in this one. And like I said, at welterweight, he's been on a streak. But I can see D-Rod pulling it off just because he's a tough stand and bang kind of a striker, and he can take a good shot. And I don't see him getting finished that easily. If there's a finish, it's going to come later in the fight. But yeah, that's my take on that fight.
Okay. All right. So, hey, that might be our dog for the night. So maybe you put that dog with Ige and then roll your almost even money on Poirier. I think is plus 100. We'll get to that. But there you go. You're in the plus. You got 3. You got a dog. We'll get there. All right. So
You know what you do? I was just thinking of this while I was talking is like, you don't bet the Poirier fight into this parlay, but just take all the favorites of the card and just make one big parlay that way. Maybe you get up to like a plus 120, 130, 140. Possibly. Just make one bet of all favorites, just one, and you do that. Then you can bet the dogs as you want,
Yep, and take them on the side bet. There we go. All right, let's hit fight number 2 here. Fight number 2 here. This is the featherweights now. Okay, we got Paul Costa and we got Roman Kopylov.
Middleweights.
Oh, these are middleweights? Oh, I wrote that down wrong on here. My bad. Yep, these are middleweights. These dudes are a little bigger. My bad. Okay, plus 195 here on Costa. Now, this was before you broke down that last fight, spilled me on some things I didn't know. This was the fight I kind of liked the dog in, but you tell me.
Honestly, I'm with you on that one, Mikey. I do like the dog in this fight as well. And the reason I say that is because Paulo Costa is a power puncher, and he's very, very difficult to put away. And Kopylov did get finished in his last fight against Fluffy Hernandez via submission. So we've seen Kopylov get finished, and when the going gets tough, he had, I don't want to say quit on himself because these are fighters and I want to put respect on them. But when things are not going his way, we've seen him find a way out. And I can see Paulo Costa landing a power punch that would end the fight. That being said, Kopylov, I think, is a much better striker. I think he's a much better kickboxer than Paulo Costa is. And also, Kopylov has been a lot more active in the last few years. And if there is one thing that works in fighters' favors is activity. Fighters that stay active tend to do better in the octagon, whereas fighters who do not stay active tend to come in with a lot of ring rust, and they don't always do as well. And, it's a close number. It's almost like a pick-em fight with this one because he's not that big of an underdog, Paulo Costa. But I do favor Kopylov to win. He's younger, hungrier, and he's been a lot more active. And I just don't see I don't see many ways for Paulo Costa to win this other than landing a big punch. Whereas I can see Kopylov even taking it to the ground, finding a submission. I can see him winning via TKO or just merely winning a decision by, pop shotting from the outside, kickboxing his way into a 3-round decision. And stretching it out.
Stretch it out a little. It costs the puncher's chance, though. This is the one if you're looking for the puncher's chance, this is the one.
This is the one for sure. Really? This is the one.
And so, what I was just thinking too, because you guys had my wheel spinning on like how to bet these things, which is like, you do a round robin on like 3. You could put a little, take 3 dogs, round robin. So round robin, if which is like 2 of the 3 bets have to win for you to win some money. So you just pick, and you can do up to 5 or 6 team round robins, or fighters here. So if you get a kind of a gut feeling that 2 or 3 you kind of like, but you're not sure, that might be another way too. Just
then you don't lose as soon as a guy loses. Your ticket's still open. If 2 of the 3 hit, you get a little money back. You know what I mean? Odds are a little lighter, but yeah, round robin might be the way to go. Real quick before we jump into this last fight here, Merc, I have to ask you, this term that is always used in the UFC has always been comical to me. How it's always referred to as finished. Like, they get finished. And it's like, when did it become faux pas to just say got knocked out? Like, at what point did they decide, like, well, this is more, what's the word I'm looking for? Respectful for the fighters to not say they got knocked out, to say finished. And I'm like, I don't think so. I think it sounds worse. I think it's a little more disrespectful that you got finished. You know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying, man. That is quite the phrase to use to talk about a fight.
It seems weird. Like when you used to play like Mortal Kombat or some shit like that. If you lost the fight, you got knocked out. But if you got finished, that meant like you got your spine ripped out and you took a shit on you and left. It's I don't know. It's more disrespectful to me, man.
Yeah. No. Every time at the beginning when he said finish, I found I wanted to laugh.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, he's serious and he's moving on. I like it doesn't even register with America. So
they say it on TV all the time. And I'm like, no, Robert Kraft got finished. These guys are getting knocked out. You know what I mean? Anyway.
No, I get it. It's we can go into that. That's a whole nother conversation about the terminology used. But
we're gonna come up with our own. We're gonna come up with our own for when you get your show going. And we're gonna this is what we're calling it from now on. You know what I mean? All right, let's jump into the main event. Okay. I don't even need to put this up, man. Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier. It's going to be the grand finale. Poirier has won 2 of these things. Holloway is desperate to pull out 1 here, and the odds are pretty even. Plus 110, minus 130. This is dead even here. Boy, I got to tell you, man, like just anybody's head right now has got to be saying Poirier's last fight, this guy's probably the most stubborn fighter I've ever seen. Maybe next to like Gache or however I always mess his name up.
Yeah.
That dude comes back like stumbling around, goofball knocked out. He's probably the most stubborn. But Poirier, like, God, I got to be like, he's not going to lose his fight.
Yeah, he's a mean bastard, man.
Yeah,
Dustin, he's he grew up in the swamps of Louisiana. He grew up fighting. This guy. If he lived in the Middle Ages, he would have been a gladiator. He's one of those fighters, you know what I mean? He was born to fight. I will say this, it being his last fight, there's almost like a poetic element to it where you want Dustin to win and you want him to go out on a high. Unfortunately, in the sport of mixed martial arts, it doesn't always work out like that, Guys don't always go out on top unless you're George St. Pierre or Khabib Nurmagomedov or somebody like that. And you look at the last few fights, Dustin and Max, it's been ups and downs. Max is currently the BMF champion of the world, the baddest mother effer of the world. And that is a belt that he currently holds, and he takes pride in having that belt, and you look at Dustin, he just fought Islam Makhachev for the lightweight championship of the world, which he took Islam to very late in the fight until Islam turned it on him. But I say all that to say, it was a great fight. Max is still kind of riding on high off of his finish off Justin Gaethje in the very last second of their fight at UFC 300. But when you look at them right now, Max seems to be on a upward trajectory, and it's the reason why these odds have been going back and forth, because people really don't know which way it's gonna go. When the odds first opened, it was Dustin was the favorite. And then the money started to slowly come in on Max, and now Max is the favorite. And I think that's for a good reason. Max is a lot bigger than the first 2 times they fought, I should say. His boxing is still sharp, very crisp. He's only lost to Ilya the last few fights that he had. Before that, he was on a winning streak. He finished Korean Zombie. He had a great fight against Yair Rodriguez. He's been on a streak up until he ran into the machine that is Ilya. Whereas Dustin, he's on his way out. And a lot of times when fighters already have 1 foot out the door, that's when they start to lose. And Dustin has already told us this is his very last fight. So outside of the fact that, he wants to go out on a high note, all the factors are kind of stacked against him. The fact that, he's getting up there in age, and the Max seems to be entering his prime, whereas Dustin seems to be falling off the prime. With all those factors included, and if you saw their most recent face-off, Max looks significantly bigger than Dustin. And when you consider that, when you consider the reach advantage,
sure.
it can go either way. It's the reason why it's a pick 'em fight almost. But in my opinion, I think Max is going to take it. And if I had to bet it, I would bet the favorite in this one. And
All right, man. All right.
that's where my call is.
I got to tell you guys, I'm putting some cash on the old Swamp Tiger, man. I'm telling you, he's back there in the corner there. I'm not messing with a dude that grew up down there in the bayou, man. They'll cut your throat in your sleep.
I tell you, if you're gonna do the favorites parlay, this fight, this last one has to be in it, and because this is how you get those odds. This is how you're gonna get plus money. So this is the one where you need to pick it right? Assuming you're gonna win the other favorite, let's just assume the favorites do kind of come through. This one you got to get right. This last one, this will be the key one for you in your parlay.
Yep. So money on the favorite here. I mean, you probably want to have your money on Holloway, but I got to tell you, man, I'm a sentimental dude. I'm always like, this is his last fight, man. I'm a bad better like that. Sometimes Andy would tell you, and he'll say,
I have to agree. I agree with Merrick. Like most of the time in these UFC ones, the last fight, most of the time these they go out on their back. Like that's just kind of, like it's a little like pro wrestling. When the older pro wrestling, which is fake wrestling. But they lay down, and that theme seemed to carry over to UFC.
That's poetic, bro. That's poetic. Yeah. If you know professional wrestling, that's poetic. You're right. They go out on their back, is the way they say, because they're passing the torch to the next guy. They put him over.
Now the UFC guys don't do it.
No, of course not. But of course not. But it's very poetic the way you tied that together. I didn't think of that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well, listen, Merrick, thank you for all the betting tips here. Set some guys straight. I know a bunch of you are trying to cash your bets back. You're trying to cash out early because you fucked them up already, and now you want to try to get them right. So you better hurry up and do that because I think there's a deadline on that. Anyway, get your parlays together. Do you have a parlay you're playing you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, I would share, like I said, if I were to put a parlay on this one, I would go with Dan Ige via decision, Kevin Holland via finish, and Holloway via decision. I think those the Holloway and the Ige fight are going the full distance. Okay. And I think Holland will eventually find a finish over D-Rod.
All right, now I'm glad you brought that up because we do this is like an informative gambling show. We don't try to talk over people's heads and stuff, and that's a great point you just made. Guys, your odds do change a lot in UFC. It's not like baseball and football and shit. Like if you pick how they finish, if you pick it goes the distance, or if you pick for them to get knocked out or not, you can change and improve your odds. So I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to bring that up and I forgot, man. So thank you very much on that. There's the parlay. I'm going to play your parlay. I'm going to play a couple of other parlays as well because I'll be dialed into this thing after watching the British Open all day. I'm going right into this thing, man. We're sports heads over here. That's all we do is watch goddamn sports. All right, man, tell us what you got going on this weekend other than that. You're going to be around Atlanta. You got some shows. What's the word?
Absolutely. So I'm always doing comedy shows around the city. We also got our podcast that's coming out. I did a podcast with my good friend and fellow comedian Khalil White. So
Khalil White is a hilarious dude, man. I've had him on some shows that I was hosting. I've seen him a million times around the rooms around town. This dude just gets it, man. He's funny as hell.
Very funny guy, yes, sir. And we just had him on the podcast. That episode will be dropping this week. So be on the lookout for Kuttin Loose podcast, which will be on the same YouTube channel as the DWMOD. Excellent. So that's our partner podcast. We also got the Better Be Good show that's live, which Mikey did an episode on. So we're looking forward for that coming out as well. So just keep your eye on our YouTube channel, like and comment, and maybe leave us a subscribe. We're growing this thing, so man, excited for the future, man. And
I'll be checking out that Khalil episode, man. That dude's funny as hell. You guys check that out. Thanks for popping in. I know you're a busy dude. You're probably heading off to do some stuff right now. We're gonna let you go, man, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
All right, bet. Hey, man, what a good dude, man. Like, this is great. The information was right on point, man.
Yeah, man. That UFC is the real blind spot. I mean, I like it. I just don't, it seems like I just don't know the history very well. And like, I know like Poirier, that guy, I've heard of that guy.
Yeah,
Like, if you would have told me when his last match was, I'd have been like, I don't know, a couple years.
Yeah. I'm
You
a
know?
little more dialed in than that. Like, I know the stars. I used to be big into watching Ultimate Fighter because that was like when the guys were first coming up and stuff. And Dustin Gagey, like that's the guy I was talking about earlier. Andy, go look at some of his older fights. Like they're almost like crazy Hollywood, where like he's straight up knocked out on his feet, stumbling around and taking more shots, and then just finds a way to weather it and comes back and wins the fight. And you're like, that guy was 2 heartbeats from death a minute ago.
Right.
3 rounds later, he wins the fight. You're like, what?
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's awesome, man. Like, I'm pretty dialed in on like the big guys and their histories and stuff. But when you get into a card like this, I'm like, I looked at a lot of these fights. I go, I don't know any of these guys, man. They're all 40. You know, so
I don't know.
no, good on him. Good on him. Let's jump into the British Open before we take this thing home. I know you've got some bets you want to give us on the British Open this weekend. I'm going to let you jump on that first.
You know, it's the British Open is typically, the favorite, it's just if you want to take a long shot, this is kind of the week to do it in the majors. Like, now I know we did just have JJ Spahn, who was like whatever 100-1, and he won the US Open, I think, or the PGA, whichever one, the last major. So I think, I'm looking at the card. I'm just going to give you the guys I like. I opened up I've been writing it down, so I opened it up. I'm just going to kind of run through. I got like 10, 11 plays that I like. I'm not saying I'm playing all these guys, but these are just kind of the area I'm looking in, right?
Love it.
So let's start with the favorites, the big 3, Scheffler, Rory, and Rahm. As you know or may not know, I generally have single-digit golfer. I'm never going to bet it. I don't care. I know Scheffler's awesome. I get Rory's awesome. I'm not saying they probably will win, but I'm not betting them.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. If you want to bet one of the favorites, Rahm's like 1,200 or so.
Yeah,
I guess that's where I would lean. The contenders outside of that, I would say the tier down. I'm gonna kind of zero in about 3 or 4 guys, right?
Okay.
Oberg at like 25. Oberg's going to win a major, and I just don't want to not be on the major he wins.
I'm with you every time. I bet him every time.
Right. Tommy Fleetwood, Tommy Ladd, has never won a major, but this is a kind of place Tommy can win. Might get sloppy. I just trust Tommy in these sort of conditions. The other thing is it's supposed to rain, I think, tomorrow,
every time.
Thursday. Thursday afternoon. So if you really want to really get into the woods about it, look, see who's playing in the morning. They're on Thursday morning. They are going to have an advantage. They may get out in front of the pack, make the cut, have a few strokes. If you find a player you really like, that might be a player to get on, right? And I'm not saying that player in the early wave is going to win, but I am saying you are going to get to the weekend and then you can kind of bet yourself out if you need to, right?
Yeah, hedge it out.
Look at the early Thursday AM players, right? Just check it out.
Sure.
Aberg, Fleetwood. I like Alexander. I know he won last year. I just think he can win again. I think he's probably the 4th best golfer alive, and I don't think anybody's talking about him like he is. Right? He's been a little slow this year.
Sure.
So you might even be the 3rd best golfer alive. Before Rahm. Depends.
Yep.
The other one is Bobby McIntyre. Like that guy's like around 35 to 4,000. Look, he was bad last week in the Scottish. He is this type of player. I just like him there. Okay. So there I'm trying to go quickly here.
No, you're good.
Dark horses, guys who I think have a chance. I would be interested in is somebody like Straka. Look, the guy's been winning this year. He's been good. Like, he think of Wyndham Clark when Wyndham Clark won a couple years ago out here in LA. Like everybody knew Wyndham, but nobody thought he was going to win a major. Then he won. That's the kind of path I see for Sepp.
Okay.
Sepp's got it. He's got to get. I think Sepp is kind of, he wants the game. If it's like 2 under wins the tournament, Sepp Straka, watch out. Like he has a chance at that point. I'm not saying he's going to win. Other guys I like is somebody like Adam Scott, just a dark horse throw. It's like, again, I just kind of trust his game in this sort of condition. He's like 6,600.
Yeah.
Somebody like Jason Day, Cameron Young, those are both 80 to 1.
Yes.
I trust those guys to kind of be there. Those guys, now these guys, as I was saying earlier, are all on my list, and I will decide if I'm gonna get on them. Another one is Russell Henley at 50 to 1. What I really like for like Day, for example, is top 20. So he's probably like 2 or 3 to 1. That'd be nice. I also like the outright win, but just top 20. Maybe play it safe. And then then kind of those super long shots, I'll give you 2. I think these are kind of my absolute long shot bangers I would get into. One is Mav McNeely, 100 to 1. Look, Mav is good. He's winning. He's been winning he's won a tournament this year, I believe. He's kind of in the mix. He doesn't always go to the next level, but he's in it. If things break right, and let's just say he gets some good times and he misses the rain, and he can hang in.
Yeah.
He can hang in. And the other is Andrew Novak. And Novak is like my ultimate long shot. This dude is like 150 to 1. Look, he's been playing good golf. Like, that's what I can tell you. He's around. I think he's been in the 3 majors this year. I want to say he's been 37th or best in all of them. Look, he probably won't win, But again, this is the major where a long shot has a better chance than almost any other major.
Yeah.
So, take a shot on that guy. If you were really twisting my arm, another guy that I skipped, I would throw out there is JT. Look, Justin Thomas, I loved him this year. At the beginning of the year, I think I said I love him. I'll be on him in every major.
Yeah.
Last chance for JT. He's been okay. He hasn't been great. He hasn't been terrible as last year. JT. If JT can, he's creative. He can maybe use a few more irons, which might help him in the end. So, I'm probably not going to bet on JT, but if he wins, and I didn't say it, and I've been thinking about him, I'm going to be mad. So I would put JT in there as well. Last one, I promise. Last 1 or 2 is Minwoo Lee at like 150 to 1, Australian, kind of a dirty player, as in like he can play dirty, as he can play in the conditions. Sure. And, I hate Patrick Reed, but I would consider him. He's been really good in the majors.
Every time.
He's
That
really
guy.
good.
And the open Reed every time. Put some money on him.
Like, he's been good. And he's been good this year. And I think, look, you don't have to put a lot of money on him because I don't think he's going to win. But if he gets close,
am I remembering correctly? It was either 2 or 3 years ago. Like, he was in it on Sunday, like a couple shots back, and everybody was like, "Yeah, he's the guy." I mean, everybody hates him, but this is his conditions.
Yeah.
So
those are like the 10 to 12, 15 guys. I know it's a lot, but those are guys I have my eye on. I have not had no card I've put together. I don't know where I'm leaning, but that's kind of to my final 15 for me.
Okay. All right. I got a couple of bets I'm going to tell you I'm already on. These are the ones I'm going to take. I'll just, like you said, Scotty Scheffler plus 600. I'm not interested in that. Top 10 minus 175. That's a lock, but I'm not throwing $175 down to win 100. I'm just not doing that. It's too risky. Day 1 winner, though. Scotty Scheffler, day 1 winner, goes off early Thursday.
You're saying first round leader.
Yeah, the day 1 winner, first round leader. At the end of the day, first place is plus 1,400 right now. I think that's a decent little bet to cover your other bets. Like, maybe just throw 5 on that, and if you hit that, you kind of break even on a bunch of other bets. I'm going to put in a
comment on that as I just want to step on it. I would definitely, though, look to see when Scotty's teeing off.
For sure.
Right? If Scotty's in the afternoon wave, I believe there's going to be rain. And there's no way.
That's why exactly what I said. If he's teeing off in the morning, for sure. Andy's right. Double check that. Yep. 100%. I tell you, I really like Hatton. I like Hatton at plus 2,800.
I like Hatton too.
Yeah, he's a links golfer, always does well. If he can come out of day 1 in the mix, this is a guy you're going to feel really good on that 2,800 because it's going to shorten right up because it's his kind of course. You know what I mean? So after day 1, if he's in the mix, it's not like he's going to be one of those guys that's going to go from plus 28 to like plus 17. He's going to go from plus 28 to like 900. He's going to be a guy we're like, oh, he's in it because this is his shit. So I'm jumping on the plus 2,800 right now. Rahm at plus 1,200, like you said, maybe, but I don't like him in this one. I'm going to stay away. It's just too popular a pick right now. I just don't feel it, man. But a top 10 finish from him is plus 105 if you're a big better. If you're looking on a bet that you want to put a $50 on or $75 on, that's a good one to me. Top 10, 105, everybody loves them. I also I like Neiman for a long shot. I like Neiman for a long shot, right? These are his kind of conditions. He's South African guy, I think, but he's good in this kind of bullshit, and he's plus 6,000 and playing some decent golf right now. I'm going to be on Neiman for a 5 spot. Spieth. Now, let me sell you Spieth. This is nobody's whatever Spieth at 6,000. But look, he's the lowest score to par in open history. He has the lowest score to par. He has never ever missed the cut at this tournament ever, and he's got 7 straight top 25 finishes. This is his kind of thing. To me, it's like the Aberg thing. Like, I just don't want to miss the boat on him. He's a guy that like probably not going to win, but for plus 6,000 and that resume, I'm going to throw a 5 spot on him at those odds and see how that plays out. I love Cameron Young at plus 10,000. I'm like, buddy, that's crazy money for a kid that's had 2 top 10 finishes in 3 appearances here. 3 appearances here, he's finished in the top 10 twice. You know what I mean? So give me that, but more so with him. Give me a bet on him at top 10 at plus 600. I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that. I don't know how much I'm going to put on that, but I'm going to be looking at that bet and see if I can put it with something else. Kind of like that one.
I can.
Yeah. And then I'll give you 2 last ones here, guys. I'm obviously, before we even got into it, we're fading the big hitters like the DeChambeaus and all. That means nothing on this course. You're gone. You're out. This is going to be the one tournament I am not going to bet Aberg, Andy. I'm with you. You know that's my thing too. Like, he's going to win one. I'm betting him every time. He has been abysmal on these type of courses. I'm just going to save the money and watch. I'm going to eat it this time. I'll bet you. Day one. Scheffler plus 1,400. I like that one. I already told you. Neiman plus 6,000 for day one. Like it. Lowry plus 4,000 day one. If Lowry goes off early, this is his type of course. He's in this thing last year deep, I think. He's a guy that, you know what I mean? I don't need to explain it to you guys. You know who Lowry is. This is his type of course. Day one, if he goes off early, I love that at plus 4,000. Jump on it. Now, day one, top 5 are my last bunch of bets I'm going to do. This is the one bet, depending on if he goes off in the morning. This is the one bet I'm gonna put like 25 or 30 bucks on. Scotty top 5 at plus 250. I'm gonna put like 25 or 30 on that and take a shot and see what happens. Because if he goes off early, like you said, that's not a bad. I mean, that pays really well, and that'll be the one that I'll take more than $20 chance on. Give me Rose, like you said earlier. Rose at plus 850 for day one, top 5, just top 5. And give me Cameron Young plus 1,100 day one, top 5. I'm all over Young everywhere on some of these bets. I just think the odds are crazy. I think they're too long.
No doubt. But like, again, let me just say just a warning, which is like, where are they? What's their tee time? Because Scotty basically is teeing off at 1 o'clock. Like, there's just, look, if you want to bet Scotty Scheffler to win the tournament, there's just, and we've talked about this before. Yes, that is the way to do it. Just bet him first round later. Or wait and just maybe he sucks in the first day and then see what his odds are, if he's close enough. But, again, I'm only bet, I would truly, if I'm betting first round later, I would only bet the early wave. I would only bet very early wave of dudes. Like, that to me is going to be the best road to success. Imagine it like the Scottish last week, the Genesis, which on Thursday there was a difference. There, guys got out early compared to guys who you were on the right side or the wrong side on a Thursday. So that's just my word.
Yeah, you got to be on it. You got to be on it.
This time it probably will have nothing to do with it. I can tell you, Spieth, I wouldn't touch Spieth with a 10-foot pole. I love Spieth. He's just very frustrating. He's like he and JT, they're friends. It makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Both very frustrating dudes. So yeah, I can only choose one between Spieth and Thomas. I can't have both of them on a card.
We got them covered then. You're on JT and I'm on Spieth. We got them covered then, man.
Yeah,
all right,
it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. The British Open is always fun, man. It's always fun. We're going to enjoy that this weekend. There's a lot of betting stuff for you there, guys. UFC, British Open, it's all on you. The Home Run Derby. Andy, did you win any money on the Home Run Derby?
Stayed away. I didn't, I generally, if I would have lost because, and luckily I stayed away, it's only because I would just take the longest odds. I'm like, this is just an absolute crapshoot, really. If it's hot. And then Cal Raleigh won.
Cal Raleigh was like middle odds though, so that didn't do too poorly. Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't have stuck in the middle though. I know me. I would have been like, who's the worst? and then I would just bet it that way.
Yeah, I had a $5 bet on the finals being shoot. Anyway, I can't even remember off the top of my head who was in the finals, but I had the two guys in the semis. One made it, the other one didn't, and that would have paid like 120. It was like $5 exacto for the finals, and it was close. But I hit a $75 bet, which was easy money. If we'd have recorded last week, you guys would have been given this bet. This is no bullshit. But come on, Jazz Chisholm to not hit a home run in his first 5 swings was just handing out candy.
Yeah,
I was handing out candy. I put $20 on it. I'm like, give me that, man. And it, boom, done. That one came in. But anyway, guys, you know where it's at. Find your big pick six. We're coming back from the All-Star break. Yeah, go ahead, Andy. What?
I just want to give out. You've inspired me to do one first-round leader, which I do love the first-round leader bets.
Okay.
I only one. I'm just gonna give it. I'm just gonna throw a dart because that's what I feel like throwing a dart. But I'm gonna throw it at Russell Henley.
Okay.
He's like 7,000. It's like, buddy, 7,000, 70 to 1. So like 70 to 1. Put $2 on it, win 140. You're gonna be good for the rest of your day.
Yeah, you'll be good for the rest of the day there.
If he hits.
All right, guys. Well, hey, that's it, man. We will see you next week. And if you're scrolling through right now to try to find that tribute to my brother, I told you would be at the end here. It's at the end of the credits there. If you were forced to be outside because of capacity and you missed that eulogy, we put together a little thing here. Like I said, it is taped, and it'll be after the credits for you guys who, you don't have to sit through the show. You can just go check that out if you want to. And Andy, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
College football is now B1G versus SEC.
If you ain't listening to All Right Bet with me and Andy St. Clair, you're throwing away money. All Lions fans drinking that Kool-Aid. Super Bowl. Hey, disagree with me or don't. That's how it works. Those of you that know what this animal up here is, I'm going to give him his old job. I'm going to ask him to record us right now as he was in our room all growing up. And I'll get back to that. So do your job. I'm going to start with a little bit of sports because this is a sports crowd, as it was touched on, and sports is a big part of our life, especially me and Brian and the rest of the family. I didn't know how you're supposed to do this, how you're supposed to get up here and talk in this moment to people. And sports for the win, man. I'm sitting in my room yesterday morning thinking about how I'm going to do this, and sure as hell, man, some of you probably saw this, is watching ESPN and the Wimbledon Championships on, and they bust into this little segment about a tradition that they have at Wimbledon where the loser of the championship match immediately has to give a speech on the court to the whole crowd in their biggest moment of loss. And that's a tradition to them, and I'm going, man, like, that's exactly what I need right now. Like, this is exactly what I need to see. How do you do that? And I sit down and I start watching this thing, and they're showing all these clips of these men and women in years past that are just giving this heartfelt speech and keeping it classy right in the moment of their biggest loss ever. And it, just sitting there, and I just realized, like, this shit did not help me at all. That is probably the stupidest fucking tradition I've ever heard of. It was not helpful one bit. It just wasn't. And I thought, so I just got to thinking me and Brian we were running mates real early. We were partners in crime from the beginning. Yeah, it's the truth. We got in a lot of trouble, and one really big mistake that was pretty common in our house growing up was the fact that we would get grounded together.
You always said that.
We would get grounded together.
You always said that.
We would get sent to the same room to serve these sentences. And I would be like, just have Hill Street Blues on in the background or something. Like, just be dialed in a little bit. You do not put two known accomplices in the same cell. We were immediately just planning our next job, you know what I mean? And we were grounded a lot. It was like it was being encouraged, the behavior, But honestly, many, many groundings together is really what not only shaped our relationship, but it really shaped us as the people we became. Because we did nothing in that room but bits and bits and bits. I mean, the game the whole time was to see who could make the other one laugh harder. And you just went over the top and over the top. And we would make up songs. And we would make up songs, and we would make up little comedy sketches. And as we were standing up here earlier, you heard the music, the wrestling album came on. If you know, you know. And the wrestling album came on, and we would record little skits like that all the time. And we would put the tape recorder on, tell Ann we'll record it. And we would record this stuff on cassette, and we would go at it, you know. Like, I'm going to tell you something mean, Gene. Brian Wilson's going to be in here in a minute, and he's a smart wrestler. He's going to give Hulk Hogan all the dirty tricks Hulk Hogan can handle, and he's going to walk out with the belt. Brian Wilson, he'd come on and do a whole shoot. And we would record it, and we would do bits about the other kids in the neighborhood and stuff, and then we would sit there and just play it back for ourselves. No audience, and we would just laugh our asses off, man. We just would. It's good times, man. It's good times. We spent hours just listening to old Bill Cosby albums. We would just listen to old Bill Cosby albums. And I got to tell you, if you would have told us then that Bill Cosby would wind up in jail before us. No way. There was no way that funny man was going to go to jail before us. We just knew it, you know what I mean? But this is the part where I'm supposed to thank everybody for coming, okay? But we're not going to do that either, okay? I'm just going to tell everybody here, you're welcome. You're welcome for every good time, funny story, and laugh that walked in the door today. Because everybody in this room has a Brian Wilson story. Everybody. If you would just be around a group of people and his name would come up. I mean, even people in the group that barely knew him or never, didn't even work close to him at all. Hey, dude. They would immediately start a sentence with, guys, I got to tell you, one time, Brian, and there would be a Brian Wilson story. And it would be funny every time because he had a very special knack. He had a very special quality that's really rare. That it didn't matter what kind of story it was, you would laugh. Now, we all laugh at happy stories, we all laugh at funny stories, and he had plenty of those. But even the bad stories you would hear, you would laugh, Even the stories that people would tell you would cringe a little bit. But you would find yourself saying, I'm not supposed to be laughing at that, man, but that's funny. And that's just who he was. And the great thing about my brother was you didn't have to be in his inner circle to be allowed in on that. You didn't. You didn't have to be in his inner circle to have access to that. If you were in the room, you were part of it. You were part of it, and you got yourself a Brian Wilson story. It just was like that. And I'm telling you, when people would laugh at those stories they weren't supposed to laugh at, there was a reason why. And it was because it was genuine. It was genuine. You didn't get different versions of Brian. You didn't. Nobody knows a fake Brian version. You're not going to meet a person that's going to tell you a version of him that you don't know. Brian brought Brian to everything he did. Now, I know he used to tell you what he was thinking all the time. He would just tell you what he was thinking. Okay? And that wasn't always the best thing. Wasn't always the best thing, but I tell you what, you'd be damned if you weren't in a room with a couple of assholes and you were glad he was there because you were thinking, man, I wish somebody would set these assholes straight, because it would happen. You know what I mean? If he was in the room, it was going to get straightened out. That's also what I loved about him, too. Oh, man. There's just a lot that I could keep going on and on about, but when Brian and Christy met, he met Christy and Kayla, that really grounded him a bit. And then Reese and Bree came along, that grounded him a lot more. And Jet and Lana completely grounded him right out. could see he was in a really happy place, and he was in a good place. And I think there was only a lot of happy, funny stories to laugh at. You know, there really was. Sorry, guys, this is difficult to try to get through, man. But I'll tell you one thing. That's why I got animal recording that, so later on I can play it back just for myself. So I can laugh. Because I know as soon as he got to heaven, Macho Man was pumped. He was like, oh yeah, Brian Wilson's here. We've been waiting, heaven, you're on notice. Yeah, oh yeah, Mega Powers, real Mega Powers unite. And we're taking heaven by storm. I know they got the belts already. They don't have the belts already because he understood wrestling. They're working for a bit, and then it's coming. You're going to get the belt real soon. I love all of you very much, man. Time is short. And sometimes you find that out in the worst fucking ways, man. I love you. I'm going to turn it back over to Joey.